Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. We coming off the heels of a show we did a couple of weeks ago, Dorothy, you'll remember we had John Baker on.
Yes,
I
remember that
the
one.
home inspector from
Yep.
Pineland Home Inspections.
Yep.
And we kind of talked about the value of home inspections, not just in real estate, but for people who just want to check up on the health of their homes.
Which is a good idea.
Always. I mean, like I said before, we go to the doctor every year or two for a checkup, but some people don't pay as much attention to their number one asset just to keep it up to speed as they should. This week, we're actually going to be talking specifically with a contractor that is actually going to be new to Moore County. And the name of the company is Mister Sparky. It is a electric service company. And for those of you who have had experience with your home with electrical issues, they come up and they catch people off guard, and they don't always understand the origins of them. And it's not just a flickering light bulb that we're going to talk about today. But we're also, in speaking about Mr. Sparky, we're going to be introducing the two owners who are both retired military business and logistics and operational experts. I think both have had 20 years of experience. And it's also a story about two gentlemen that have the cool thing about being in the military. When you retire, you have so much of your life in front of you, and a lot of these guys have young families, and they have to reinvent themselves and move on to Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. And with that in mind, I will introduce Rick Lozano, who is a leadership expert, and he is a retired Army logistics officer, and he's been an entrepreneur. And I've had the privilege of working with Rick over the years in the real estate world, and I can tell you he is, in his DNA, I think he was given an extra dose of entrepreneurship. He thinks outside the box, and he and his partner, Dan Weidman, and Dan is also, he was a U.S. Army Director of Contracting with 2 decades worth of experience. And he has also stepped out, and he is not just the co-owner of Mister Sparky Electric, but he was also the founder of Premier Pine Storage, which we can talk about too as well. I've always said that 2 years in Moore County is a lifetime, that living in an area like Moore County, it's so easy to become relevant, to become someone on the radar screen in a very short period of time, as opposed to large urban areas. And Rick, since you live in Southern Pines, you've been an investor here, you have a young family. I think you're as tapped into Southern Moore County as anybody. I think you sense that the ability to take this franchise that you guys will be managing could be something, if it's done properly, could within a year or two, actually you could become an instant player in the market. So I just want to say good morning, and I wanted to get your thoughts about how this all started, how you and Dan hooked up, and just a little bit of background about Mr. Sparky.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Bill. Thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
So Dan and I met in the Army back, I think, in 2018. We're working at the same unit together. And Dan has always been really big into real estate, really big into researching things. And I had a question for him about real estate at the time, and he actually filled in the gap for me and actually gave me one bit of info that I needed to like take the leap into real estate investing.
Okay.
And so from that point on, we struck up a good friendship, and we stayed in touch over the years. And when I retired from the military last year, I knew Dan was right behind, and we kept in contact. And as you know, I came to Southern Pines in 2018 with Faith and the kids,
Yeah.
and that's where we met.
That's right.
And so we really love it here, and we wanted to be part of the community. We plan on staying here. And then Dan and I just kept in contact, and we talked. And I was interning at a local startup as the operations manager, and Dan came on and interned as well. And there we got to talking about some things, and we kind of made the joke where it's hard to find service people, tradespeople to do things quickly.
Yes, right.
And we were like, hey, let's take a look at this. And we kind of ran it down, and then it kind of just went from there. And we decided to go with it.
You bring up a great point. I can't tell you how many times I have clients who will reach out to me. As a matter of fact, I had one early this morning for contractors. Who do you use for this or for that, whether it be a carpenter, an electrician, a crawl space specialist? A lot of people don't know, and they don't trust the process. So using our experience with different contractors is a great way to get started. But the impetus for getting involved in the electrical business through Mister Sparky is that you wanted to provide something to eliminate the frustration that a lot of people have had getting the right people to do a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we're doing our research and in our own experience, some of the things that we've seen is we hear that some electrical companies won't do the small jobs. They're waiting for the bigger jobs or the new builds. And what Mr. Sparky specializes in is residential service and repair. So if someone needs a light fixture put up or a couple of can lights changed, we'll do that. There is no job that's too small for us, and that's one of the services that we want to provide to the community.
Okay, Dan, you started the Premier Pine Storage before you retired from the Army. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you were planning for Chapter 2, as I like to say.
This a little bit, yeah. The storage facility came in as an idea after COVID hit. My wife and I, we had started real estate investing when we moved here in 2018 as well.
Yeah.
Good
time to start, by the way.
Yeah. We took the leap into single-family homes, utilizing the Burr technique, if you're familiar with that one. And COVID hit in 2020, and we were looking for something that could be potentially more stable. So we did some research, found some podcasts, and learned about self-storage facilities. And so we just started looking into the area because when we moved here, we fell in love with the whole community.
Yeah.
It was the first place in 20 years that we had felt, we actually felt like home because we had moved around so much.
Where are you from originally?
Originally, upstate New York, small town, Cobleskill, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Cow country, really.
I know it.
Oh, okay.
I'm originally from northern New Jersey, but spent a lot of time in upstate New York.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 seasons all the time.
That's right.
Yep.
By the way, he is a spitting image. You know, the actor, I'm sure people have told you this, Gary Sinise.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you remember?
Lieutenant Dan, man. Yeah.
Well, do you remember Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like his brother, like a first cousin. It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was called Lieutenant Dan for the first couple of years in the Army, too.
Is that right?
Yeah, because Lieutenant Dan.
That's right.
Lieutenant.
Absolutely.
That's right. So anyway, you guys were able to hook up, and you decided that this was a void to fill in the market.
Yeah, so the real estate investing background, and actually my father-in-law is a retired electrician from New York, too, so we've always kind of connected in that way because he's very technical. He's 50 years of experience there. So I've always picked up stuff. He's come and done work in my house. They moved down here in 2020.
Okay.
But the need for tradespeople the demand is very high.
Yep.
When Rick and I linked up post-Army for him. I was doing my Army internship. We talked about real estate investing and the need for tradespeople. And electricians came up as a high demand skill set, which was not filled for. The demand is so much higher than the actual supply in this area.
That's right.
We felt that, hey, we should check out trades businesses, and electricians kind of checked off a lot of the boxes for us.
Yeah.
So we dove into that space.
Just to be clear, neither one of you guys are licensed electricians. You are overseeing and managing a company that employs as employees, not as independent contractors, licensed electricians.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. And we like to say we're managing. We're also leading it, and we have a license holder that works for us. So we are a licensed company, and he's available to do and to check all of our work, and we work under his license. You know, our 3 techs all have at least 10 years of experience. We're looking for at least 5 years, but we've been fortunate enough that Charles, Billy, and Chad all have at least 10 years. And so we don't have like the young electrician. And so we have a lot of experience. And why we think that's a big bonus for us is it allows Dan and I to work on the business and not so much in the business and doing the day-to-day. And so we're able to look long-term, we're able to help short-term, but we're able to work on putting our electricians in the best position to succeed, to provide the best service for the community. And so that's something that we're really excited about.
So I'm going to get right into it and ask you this big picture question, because I think a lot of people have this in the back of their mind. Mr. Sparky is an independent franchise, correct?
Yes, it's a franchise.
Independently owned and operated.
Correct.
But there are many Mr. Sparky franchises throughout the country, but you guys are just focusing on primarily Moore, Lee, Richmond County. Is that?
Like the Sandhills in general. So we've got Lee, Moore, Rayford, and parts of Fayetteville and Fort Bragg in our territory.
So what do you say to people who have this predisposed opinion about the term franchise? That some people think that it means, it's not going to be the same level of service. Give you an example. You go out to buy pizza. People around here, where do you go? You go to Sopi's, you go to Vito's. I mean, but there are some people that go to the franchises as well. But they'll always say the best pizzas are here, here, and here. How do you overcome that mindset that because it's a franchise, it may not be the same level of quality and accountability as perhaps some of the independent local electricians?
Yeah, so over our years of leadership in the military and post-military dealing with different businesses, we found that creating systems is a challenge. It's tough. Creating a good or a great company culture is a challenge, and it's tough. Doing them both at the same time is extremely difficult. And so why we looked at a franchise is what you get with a franchise is you get the system, and a proven system that has worked across the country. Now, we are independently owned and operated, so we could put our own flavor on that, and that's where the leadership and management and how we treat our employees and how we interact with the community makes us different. And so all of our electricians are background checked, drug tested, 10 years of experience, and they continue to do training currently as they're employed with us. And so I get it. I've dealt with franchises in the past too, and I've said the same thing.
Okay.
But I know that how we feel about this community, how we feel about this company, and the experience that Dan has and I have, we're very confident that we can be different and we could provide that service, that local feel, but it's still a franchise, but that local feel because we care so much about the community.
Yeah. Dan?
I think part of the secret sauce, though, too, is the leadership and experience that Rick and I bring to the table. The secret sauce is the people and our hiring and selection process.
Yeah.
So, people go to Domino's, people go to a franchise business
Right.
for pizza.
Right.
You're going to get the same thing.
Right.
And so those companies can hire, the $10 an hour kid that can just, throw some dough and some pizza in there, and that's what you're going to get. They follow the recipe. With trade businesses, it's, a lot more technical, and Rick and I, we specifically put our techs and the people that we have hired through a rigorous hiring and selection process to make sure that they meet not just the technical criteria, but also like the culture and the capability and the desire to want to do that, to be the electrician that helps the community, and that's who we're hiring. We're not just hiring some dude off the street.
Right.
We're not just hiring some, a new electrician that's just out of trade school, although we're looking for that eventually. But we're finding the right person for the right job that fits all the criteria that meet our independently owned business to help Moore County, Fayetteville, Fort Bragg.
Yeah. Rick will tell you in his experience with me is that when I refer a contractor, it's like I'm referring myself, and that the referral has to be one based on experience, so that there are no disappointments. And we definitely have a need for what it is you offer. And when we come back in the second set, I'd like to speak with you about the host of things that you do offer, the residential services. Whether people are selling their home or not, people who own homes would it's like having an MRI done on your home to make sure that the integrity of the system in the house is intact and there are no issues. But let's come back in the second set and talk about some of the services you offer, and maybe you can talk about a recent project or story to highlight that. This is All Things Moore County. We're speaking all about the new electrical contract business, Mister Sparky, which is in Moore County. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. Mister Sparky is a new electrical service company here in Moore County, and we are speaking with co-owners Dan Weidman and Rick Lozano. So guys, we all have the need from time to time to call an electrician. We don't always know the reasons why something is wrong. What are the kind of services that Mr. Sparky can offer a homeowner beyond just repairs? And what kind of are the typical repairs that you get calls for? Rick?
Yeah, so our company specializes in residential service and repair. We have the capability to do some commercial things, some new build stuff, but that's not our wheelhouse. So what we do, if you think about anything within your house, any kind of electrical need you have, from changing one can light to changing out your electrical panel, that's something that Mr. Sparky's can handle. We're also can do, since electric vehicles are a really big thing, we can install EV chargers.
Okay.
What we see around here a lot, and what has been very popular, and I think very smart, is surge protection. Especially all the storms are coming up on hurricane season. So,
Yep.
We've noticed, a lot of people now work from home and things like that. And so surge protector is very important. So we offer either like a whole home surge protector or even just a surge protector that'll protect certain devices. And so that's something that we're seeing that's very popular. And then any kind of like, we're working with another local company in town that works on outdoor like pergolas and decks. And so we're providing the electrical, we're wiring that up.
Outdoor lighting?
Yeah, absolutely. Outdoor lighting. And then we have a job too with a home inspector actually on Friday, doing like the punch list things that they're trying to do in order to sell their home. So if you think about it, anything within your home, Mr. Sparky can take care of that for you and provide you, with a quote and some options, and give you some recommendations on how you could solve your problem, or even upgrade, some of your current houses, some of the things in your house to make things safer for you.
Like GFIs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We see that a lot in some of these older homes. We used to have the 2-prong outlets, right?
Yep.
And so you want to update that, and it's all about making things safe. And if you think about it, like, you don't service your car every 10 years, right? You go at least, every 6 months or something like that. And and that's something that we could provide with our club memberships. We have 3 club memberships, right? At different price points, but they all provide the same thing. So with a club membership, what you get with us is you get a free annual safety inspection. A lot of companies, and we're one of them, charge a service fee to show up to your house.
Right.
We charge $97.97 to show up to your house. If you book a job with us, that's completely waived. But if you're a club member, there is no service fee. You can call us as much as you want, and we'll come out and give you estimates and look at any issues that you have, and there'll be no service fee. Also, part of being a club member, you get 15% off all services that we do. Mm-hmm. And if you decide to change your electrical panel with us, we'll give you a $500 voucher to give you $500 off of that change. And there's a few other things too, like we provide 4-hour windows for our customers. If you're a club member, you get a 2-hour window, and try to save you some time there. And the 3 membership plans, we have the Priority Power Plan. That's $24.97 a month. We also have something called the Senior Safety Shield. That's for senior citizens, which is $20.97 per month. And then we also have something we call the Hero Club for all active duty and retired military.
Right.
Same with fire, police, EMT, and teachers, because we think teachers are heroes too for all the great things that they do. And that price is $17.76 per month, and that is our tip of the cap to this great country. And so we thought it was something that we wanted to go with.
So if you come out to a house to quote a job, whether someone is a club member or not, do you charge by the hour or do you charge by the job?
So we use something called the straightforward pricing guide, and we give the customer a straightforward price. And it's not by the hour, it's not by the job. We will tell you exactly what we're going to charge you, and whether that job takes us an hour or 8 hours because we found another problem, we're not going to change the price on you. Okay. And so we give our customers the whole price all at once. And
because in my experience, most electricians do not do that. They it's a time-sensitive situation before the price comes in, so people sometimes don't know what they're getting into. But what you're saying is that your price is up front, regardless of what you find.
Correct. And so when we go into a customer's home, and whenever someone books a call with us, we will diagnose their problem, but we also conduct a safety inspection of their entire home. And during that safety inspection, we will look and do the research and make sure we're pricing you for the job that you need done. And we take a little bit of time to do that, so we could catch all the things it's going to take to complete that job.
You make me think about all the termite warranties that are out there, because I have a termite warranty, and they come out, 5-6 times a year, and they're checking the feeders and this and that. I don't have termites, but I have peace of mind. And basically, the electrical plan that you're talking about is the same thing. You become a club member, and you have the service, and perhaps it's almost like flying first class rather than economy. Mm-hmm. You get preferential seating. You get to board the plane first. Blah blah blah. You mentioned surge protectors. I have a generator on my home, and I have a Kohler generator, and yet I also have a Zeus surge protector because I do sometimes work from my home. And it's amazing when there's an electrical issue, the amount of damage that can be done to a house. You don't even know how many things get affected until after the fact. So surge protectors are hugely important for people as at least the first level of defense. Most people don't have generators, but that's another electrical. Do you guys work with people who have generators installed?
Yeah, so we had a job last week, and we don't install the generators,
Right.
or we don't install the HVAC either, but we provide the power hookup
Sure.
for both of those items.
Sure.
And so it's something we've already started doing.
Sure. You you have a story or two you can share about maybe a success story or something that came up, because I think it will help drive home the point of what you're doing.
Sure, I'll take that one.
Okay.
So our first job that we took, grand opening was July 28th. Our first job that we booked was with a disabled veteran, 30 years, out in Fayetteville.
Okay.
And she was having, fluctuating power issues, sparks coming out of her, some of her devices for her outlets.
Nice.
No, not great. It's actually super unsafe.
Right. Of
So,
course.
we deployed one of our techs out there. He went out, did follow his process, did the safety inspections, noticed that most of the devices had a lot of loose connections. Loose connections is like a big electrician thing. It's bad, right?
Yeah.
So you have a loose connection, the metal can't touch to each other. You get sparks, you get arcs, which can cause fires,
Sure.
which she started to notice.
Sure.
So we went out, did the assessment, and we were able to help her out and replace. We did what's called a home re-device, where we swapped out all of the outlets and the switches, which, reconnecting tight connections with all the wiring to make sure that doesn't happen again. And we also, I think we replaced the panel too. The panel was replaced because it was an old, not great panel for the house, and some of the breakers did not have enough amps to be able to feed the power requirement that
How old was
being
that? How old was the house? I'm just curious.
It was in Fayetteville, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was probably mid to late 70s
Yeah,
build,
yeah.
based off the location.
Those were the days when they would install Federal Pacific panel boxes.
Yep, those are the dangerous ones.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Right. We see those. You see, in Moore County, we have so many older homes. Most of them are 2-wire homes. But people don't know their panel box from anything. And then aluminum.
Yep, aluminum wiring's the new thing. So, also, my father-in-law, he has taught me, and also the electricians I've spoken with and our techs that are working with us now have shown us that, although it's code compliant, there's a thing called backstabbing that when contractors who are doing new builds will, what's called backstabbing, they just take the copper, plug it into the backstab plate of these new electrical outlets, where it's still, the power is feeding the outlet, but it's not the screw down tight connection that most experienced electricians prefer to keep the tight connection down. And that actually, I was having fluctuations in my house, at an outlet that kept a light that would go on and off even with the light switch flipped. So I just had Floyd and I, my father-in-law, we took a look at it, and they had backstabbed and left copper in the backstab spot. So they backstabbed the back of the thing, and then for whatever reason they cut it and put it in a different position and left the copper from the wire in the back of the outlet, which was super unsafe, which was what was causing, my light switches to not work properly. And that was with a new build, so 2019 or so.
Yeah.
So
that was a success story, because that house that you were describing was unsafe.
the one in Fayetteville, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not great, but we helped her out, and she's very happy. So.
Yeah, good. When we come back in the third set, I want to talk to you a little bit about the punch list of items that Rick referenced on home inspection reports, and how we as brokers view those and how we communicate those to our clients, and you'll be interested to hear what we have to say. We're speaking with Mister Sparky. They're a Moore County-based electrical company specializing in residential service. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. We're speaking with Rick Lozano, and we are speaking with Dan Weidman, the owners of Mister Sparky, and about all the residential electrical services they provide. I will tell you, being in the real estate business for 25 years, the number one item that comes up for our buyers and our sellers, when they go through, once a contract is ratified and they go through the inspection processes, is we always pay extra special attention to electrical issues that are put onto the report. And many of these inspectors use similar templates. Rick, you and I, we've been through a bunch of those. You've been through a bunch of them. So we have a tremendous amount of respect when it comes to electrical because we communicate to our clients this is a safety issue. There are many issues that come up on an inspection report that are cosmetic issues or improvement issues, but we just want everybody to stay hyper-focused on electrical. And I think from listening to you guys the first two sets, the culture that you're trying to put together under Mister Sparky and the care is, you look at electrical issues the same way. These are safety issues. These are operational issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what drew us towards the electrical field was, we wanted to provide a service, and just to put it simply, we wanted to be able to help the community. And when we were talking about this idea, we found that was a way to do it. And, I think Bill, you and I have looked at I don't know how many homes together,
Yep,
right? And
yep.
so what do we all love about this area is the older homes,
Right.
They're
The character.
Yeah, the character, they're beautiful, right? But what comes with some of those older homes, right? Some older electrical work, and it may still be functional, right? And maybe it's not as safe as some of the current stuff, but we've all kind of used them after a while. But when you go to sell that home, and we've been through this too, or buying a home, you want it to be updated to keep your family safe. And so, when we start looking at that, things like updating your outlets, things like bubble covers over your outlets outside for your outdoor, time. Everyone, I think a lot of people want to be able to spend time outdoors and do things like that, but you want to do it safely. And then, as well as I do, you just don't know what's going to come up with that inspection, right? You have somebody, you have the deal maker or the deal breaker crawling underneath your house, right, as we call them,
Right.
And finding some things, and some things that you may not even know are there, right? And that's where Mr. Sparky could come in and kind of help get those things rectified and either make you feel more comfortable and give you that peace of mind that knowing that house that you're buying is safe, or if you're trying to sell, then making sure that your deal goes through, you provide a great product to the buyer, and then both parties can walk away happy. And we hope to provide that service.
I've all my life I've been in marketing, and I've always relied on the strength of analogies, sometimes to paint word pictures. And I have always likened a home's electrical system to the nervous system of our bodies, and it basically touches every part of the house, just like the nerves in our body. And as we get older, we have nerve issues. People have neuropathy. There's so many things that happen. So when you're looking at that older home that you fall in love with and it's emotional, that's great. Check out the nervous system of the home. And a lot of laymen will get that analogy. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about in a roundabout way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I like the idea of the fact that you're trying to create a client, not a customer, where you have a yearly membership, whereby the cost savings over time, if there are 3 or 4 phone calls, service calls in the course of a year or two, that could save your client money, but also rest assured that their home is safe. I don't know a lot of companies that do that in Moore County.
Yeah, and so why I really like the club membership is because, electrical issue is only an issue, right, when it's an issue.
Right.
But it could be, just like maintenance on your car, it could be degrading over time.
Yeah.
And what this does is with a club membership, you get a free safety inspection once per year, and that allows us to help you catch any potential issues before they turn into something bigger. And also what it does is it creates that partnership or relationship with the customer to where when they have an issue, they don't really have to think about it. Like, who am I going to call for my electricity? How many times have we gone down Google trying to figure out who we're going to call or who's going to answer the phone or when can they show up? We'll be there and on time. And that's part of one of our guarantees is something called the on-time guarantee. Yeah, we give you a window of when we're going to be there, and we don't show up in that window, your whole call is free.
So whether you're a club member or you're not, talk to me about the warranties that you give with your work. I assume that the warranty is exactly the same, club member or not club member.
Yeah, correct. So we have the on-time guarantee that we just talked about. If we're not on time during our service window, then your call is free.
Okay.
We also have a 2-year warranty on all service and repair that we do. And then when we offer certain packages for like a panel replacement or a surge protector replacement, and we offer package deals for it. And if you go with our highest end option where, say, with our panel replacement plus, it's including like replacing a few outlets, replacing a few light fixtures, and a surge protector, that comes with a 10-year warranty on all things that we touch, and we'll come back and fix it for free. And so we also have something that we really like too. It's basically, it's a guarantee that we're going to respect you and your property. So if one of our techs comes into your home and they are smoking in front of your house or using foul language or not cleaning up after themselves, and they don't provide that 5-star service, your call is your whole call is free. And so that's something we take very seriously in respecting people's homes, being on time, because we feel that's respecting people's time. And, you know, people are busy. And so these are very important things to us.
So I know Rick, right? And I understand his standards. And I have seen him when he has not been treated well, and I have seen him when he has been. And we both have the same standards, I believe. So it goes back to the culture you guys are trying to create. And I'm guessing that you two will be taskmasters over the employees to make sure that those services are done courteously and on time.
Yes, and it goes back to what Dan was talking about before, about our hiring process and bringing in the right people, the people that fit the culture, and are going to uphold the standards that we want to create. And that's why we took our time hiring. I think for a while there we were kind of like looking at each other like, I hope we could find the people that we want to find. But our philosophy was we'd rather go without and find that right person than to just speed hire just because we were feeling like there was a crunch. And the guys that we brought in and our office manager, Erin, and she's our office manager and dispatcher, all believe in what we're trying to do. We're a small team, but we're all aligned, and we all believe in these guarantees and providing that service. And from Dan and I's perspective, we try to create that climate in the office and with the team to where everyone feels appreciated for all the hard work that they're doing. And we want them to be able to be happy when they come to work. And we feel like a happy teammate is going to be a good teammate. It's going to treat our customers well and ultimately provide a great service.
Yeah, I would encourage people to go on your website. It's pretty intuitive. It's got a lot of information. And it allows people from the website to book appointments online. And that's an important part of your business as well, the online booking.
Yes, sir, it is. The website's got a great general overview for the services that we provide.
Right.
But one of the best features we have is a book online button in the top right-hand corner where anybody can go 24/7 and book a service for the next scheduled service time that we have available.
Okay, and that is your preferential way of starting the communication with the client, with the customer?
Yep. So somebody books online, it'll pop into our system, we'll see them, we'll double check the appointment, we'll give them a call, and we'll set them up for service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I keep going back to the termite warranty mentality. It seems like Mr. Sparky is trying to present that to people. If you're going to worry about termites, I would say worry more about your electrical system long term. I mean, yes, both can do damage, but it's the same sort of concept. It's like soup to nuts, and you put a blanket over the house.
Yeah, we want to give our customers and our community like the peace of mind, knowing that their home is protected from unforeseen electrical problems.
Right. Your website, MrSparky.com/the Sandhills.
Yep. So the -Sandhills or /Sandhills will all go back to our main page.
But MrSparky.com will get you there.
Yep. And you can search the zip code and it'll bring you to the local page.
And your main number is 910-556-5226? No, it's not. It may be.
Well, that's a direct line.
Okay.
If somebody really wants to call us to set up an appointment, it would be 910-319-1116.
I see that.
But there's also, we have many numbers that all kind of point back to us. So they'll see on the website,
Yeah.
you'll see on the business card.
And the truck.
And the truck, if you see our trucks around town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in closing, I just want to say one thing that intrigued me is the fact that you guys do outdoor lighting. And there are so many properties that would benefit from that. You do the ditch witch and the wiring, the whole 9 yards without the design work, I'm sure.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, correct. Without the design work, but one of our techs, Charles, that is his favorite thing to do,
Okay.
and he is looking forward to doing that.
I would like to have him come to my house, seriously, and look at my backyard, because you've seen it, and I don't have. I have some neighbors who rave about their backyard lighting. I would like to have that opportunity to consider this booking an appointment.
Done.
No problem, Bill.
Rick, Dan, thank you guys both for coming in. I have no doubt that in about a year or two, Mr. Sparky is going to be a very well-known name here in Moore County.
All right.
Thanks. It was great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Really appreciate it.
You guys are welcome. We will definitely see you down the road. Thank you. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week.